Hello there, how you doing? This is Justin Showers, the principal broker here at Home Basics Real Estate. We've had a lot of questions come in about solar panels from past clients and customers and people that we know, and they want to know if it adds value to the home. And that's a really difficult question to answer. So first of all, I'm not an expert in solar panels by any means, and I don't want to ruffle any feathers. I have a lot of friends and family and neighbors that have installed solar panels and they're perfectly happy with it. It works for them. I'm just so happy for them. That's totally great. So I don't want to talk anybody out of getting solar panels, but maybe some things to think about. So first of all, does it add value? Well, that's a tough question to answer because we don't have enough sales data on homes that have sold with these newer systems. Occasionally I pull up to an older home from the 80s and there's some solar panels on there and those systems were terrible. They're eyesores. They should be taken down. And I think that is a detraction in value. Now, we have some really cool systems now. They're sleek. I hope that in 20 years from now, we don't look back and say, wow, those things look terrible. I think they're pretty cool. I really do. And I think they should last and stand the test of time and still be cool in 20 years. I don't know. But that's my gut feeling there. So, can it add value? Well, sure it could add value. Let me present this scenario to you. Let's say that a seller bought the panels. They paid for them cash, no payment on them, and they needed to sell. And of course, they're now going to transfer those panels with the house, and the buyer is going to get panels paid free and clear and savings start day one. Well, in that scenario, obviously it's going to add value. There's going to be some pretty terrific savings for that buyer. But if you lease the panels and there's a monthly payment involved, and then of course you have to sell the property, well, who's going to take over those monthly payments? Are you expecting the buyer to pick up the tab on a monthly basis? Now, it might make sense for them to do that. I think that could be very much the case, but I wouldn't rely on that. I've seen some people try and exclude the panels from the sale. I showed a property the other day where they wanted to exclude the panels, and I think, well, why would a seller want to do that? I mean, are they going to take those panels somewhere else? Are they going to try to find a home with a similar roof pitch and facing the same direction? And I just don't know if it makes sense to relocate those panels. There is a company that promised them that if they needed to sell and relocate those panels, that they would do it for $500. Well, that was their guarantee. I don't know that many of these companies are in a position to make any kind of long-term guarantees. We see a lot of companies coming into the market. I'm not sure if they're going to enjoy much longevity. I think some of them will fail, go out of business, be swallowed by larger corporations. So when some of these companies make any kind of a long-term commitment or long-term promise, a guarantee of any kind, I'd be a little bit careful. I'd be a little bit skeptical because they may not be around. I personally think it's too early to invest in panels. I don't want to talk you out of it. I'm just not there yet. We're seeing some major developments come down the road here, and they've got some big players, big names, Mitsubishi, Panasonic, and they want to bring some new products to the market very soon. There's a lot of competition there, and as you know, competition is a good thing. I think it's going to drive the price down. I think we're going to see smaller panels. I think we're going to see more efficient panels. I think we're going to see a lot of accessories come with those panels, including batteries, and I think that's really key for me. I don't want to invest in a system where I'm just trading one payment for another. And that's really the sales pitch of a lot of these guys is, hey, your electrical bill on a monthly basis is $200 and the payment on these panels would also be $200. So it's kind of a neutral situation, and that's kind of a great sale. And I realize that once you get those panels paid free and clear, there's going to be some tremendous savings there. But I'm not really looking for a neutral situation. I want something a little bit more than that. Let me tell you about a couple that invest in some panels in my neighborhood. They're in their late 80s, and I don't know when that's ever going to pencil out for them. They probably won't be around for long enough for that investment to pencil out. We had a power outage a few months ago. The power was out for about 4 hours. Now, my neighbor, they're older, like I said, and she's on oxygen. I went over to make sure that she's okay, and they had an extra tank, and it was portable, and she was okay. But I thought, you have solar panels, and aren't you okay with the power out? Well, no, because these panels in many cases don't work if the power is out. And to me, that's kind of funny. You should be able to draw power if the power goes out. You should be able to use those panels. Well, that's not the case. So this is where I think the industry is going. It's pretty evident that not only would you be able to save money because you don't have an electrical bill, and I get that, but that you would actually be able to be off the grid and that you would have a power supply when the power goes out. And that is through these home batteries that they're really developing. Tesla, for example, has a great battery, but they're expensive, and your home's going to need probably 2 or 3 of those, and at $3,000 a pop, that really adds to the cost of solar panels. So I'm hoping not only will the panels get better, that they'll become more efficient, that they'll become a little more affordable, but also the accessories like the battery packs are going to just make leaps and bounds. And that's probably when I'm going to really take a serious look at panels. Now, there may be some additional costs to the panels, like for example, replacing your roof. Your home has to meet certain standards, and roofing obviously is a big issue. If your roof's a little bit older, you may be looking at upgrading your roof. And I have heard about people who are told that, hey, your roof only has 5 or 6 years left. You want to go ahead and replace your roof now and put the panels over the top of them. I just really have a problem with that, because I think, you know, replacing your roof when you have 5, 6 good years left of that system is kind of a waste of money, frankly. And there's some electrical upgrades that need to be made to your property in some cases. So if I were committed to a home long term, and my roof were in great shape, and my electrical systems were where they need to be, and I didn't have to make any other costs, I'd probably be, you know, a little more excited about solar. But if you have to make those upgrades, it probably doesn't make a lot of sense. So what can you do with that extra money? Well, let's say you spend $20,000 on solar panels. Would you get a better return if you put $20,000 into a new kitchen, or remodeling the bathrooms, or improving your curb appeal? Those things really can add a lot more value than solar panels. For me personally, I wouldn't finance the panels, I'd pay cash for them. So I think, well, what could I do with $20,000 to $30,000? Well, I'd probably buy another rental property which would produce a cash flow, certainly enough to pay my electrical bill on my own primary residence. So you have to think about, well, what could I do with that money if I weren't going to buy panels? So people say, well, the tax credits are going away. Don't you think that's important? And I do. I like the tax credits, but I think those tax credits actually benefit the companies that are selling the solar, and you as well. But I think that without the tax credits, if they came to your door and they said, okay, this is going to cost you $30,000, you'd probably shut the door. Okay, so I know the tax credits do have a benefit. They bring that remaining balance to $20,000, $22,000. Without the tax credits, I think they would be forced to bring those prices down. So it's kind of a wash. I love the tax credits. I don't think they're going to be that effective. I think that it's actually one of the things, once those are taken away, that's going to make the prices come down to reality. I don't think people would be excited to pay $30,000. I guess, again, I don't want to ruffle any feathers. I don't want to talk you out of it. I'm just not there yet. I think, 5, 10 years down the road, you're going to see better panels, cheaper panels, more accessories, including the batteries. And that's probably what I'm waiting for. So if you have any questions or comments, or you want to set me straight, or you want to disagree, I'm perfectly fine with that. We share them with everybody. If you have some comments you want to get out there, we'd be more than happy to put those out to the rest of you guys. Hope you guys have a great day. Take care.